Okay, traders, welcome back to episode 22. So I'm just going to cover the cross pairs that I keep my eye on and why. So we've got Aussie yen, New Zealand yen, Swiss franc yen, CAD yen, Euro CAD, Pound CAD, Aussie CAD, New Zealand CAD, Euro Swiss, Pound Swiss, Aussie and New Zealand Swiss, CAD Swiss, Aussie New Zealand, and Euro Pound. So the reason I've even got them like that in regards to obviously just having all the Aussie pairs, all the New Zealand pairs, is because Aussie yen and New Zealand yen, they can be used to understand the risk parameters of the market. As Aussie yen and New Zealand yen are high yielding currencies, against the yen, it can be viewed as risk on and risk off. So that's why I like to see the degree of risk on and risk off when it comes to the Aussie, New Zealand, Swiss, and CAD, and obviously Euro and Pound as well. That's been mentioned previously. So you can see like Aussie yen right now, we're starting to see potential reversals, and we have got this rising wedge pattern. So we could be seeing potential further downside on Aussie yen. So that would mean that the market now is going to become risk off. So we're going to be selling risky assets like Aussie and buying safe haven currencies like the yen. So when you go through, you can see they all have their own degree of movement. So Swiss franc and yen are both safe haven currencies, but of course, obviously, yen is the number one safe haven currency. So Swiss franc yen for me is also it's just an indication of where investors are flocking to more. So you can see right now we're definitely looking like we're going to have some sort of pullback at least down to this region here. So that's letting me know that investors right now are going to start to unwind their yens and they're going to be selling Swiss franc a bit more and buying up yen, but we could potentially see yen have another weaken. So we could go from risk off to risk on. CAD, you can see CAD obviously is a currency commodity as well. So you can see CAD also in regards to the yen, again, different price structure. But you can see overall, when we look at all of our yen pairs, we've been in a risk on environment. So we've been buying risky assets and selling the yen, which is why overall the yen pairs were moving higher. Euro CAD, obviously Euro CAD, Pound CAD, Aussie CAD, New Zealand CAD, they're just all for me what I call the CAD pairs. So you see Euro CAD right now weakening as this strength in CAD continues. You can see as well Pound CAD, we had a lot of weakness, a lot of strength with Pound and weakness in the CAD in this relation. But now we see that CAD strength seems to be coming back in the market. Aussie CAD, no real movement. As you can see, Aussie CAD been range bound for quite a while. New Zealand CAD, you can see just a bit ahead of the curve. So because it's a bit more volatile, you can see New Zealand CAD just a bit ahead of the curve. So it could be showing you that we're going to have a breakout. So these are more like Euro, Swiss francs, and again, major currency versus another major currency, but Swiss franc is viewed as safe haven. So you can see range bound right now. Pound, as you can see, look, pound, a lot of strength against the safe haven, but it's starting to unwind now. So that just lets me understand further, again, what I was mentioning, the risk on and risk off environment, which will be touched on in more depth, and just letting you understand what I even mean by risk on and risk off in more depth, of course. Aussie, which is obviously a risky currency versus yen, which is versus Swiss franc, sorry, which is a safe haven. You can see this also looks like we're going to get some potential reversals coming in as we've got this kind of head and shoulders here. So it looks like we're potentially going to get some reversal, which means we'll be selling the Australian dollar and buying the Swiss franc. So we'll be selling a risky asset and buying a safe haven as well. New Zealand Swiss still looks like we're in a bear market as well. We look like we just got a clear ABC that could be looking for further downside. CAD Swiss, you can see CAD very strong. So this is showing you again CAD versus Swiss franc, no real movement. Aussie New Zealand, which is obviously Aussie versus New Zealand, which they're practically the same currency. But you can see now Aussie has been stronger, but we're having a pause right now. And where we're starting to have a pause is around obviously this key area of support. So we can look at it like that. That's a key area of support where we're starting to see this pause in the market. So I think I even went over this already. So you can see this is a key area that may see us push back up. So that will be looking at further Aussie strength and New Zealand weakness. And then you've got Euro versus the pound, again, two strong currencies. both inside a massive range, so to speak. So if you see here, we've got this high here, and then we've got our low. We've got our low here, so you can see we're right in a big range. So it looks like euro strength could be kicking back in regards to the pound. So it looks like further pound weakness. So how I look at it is, if euro is going to weaken against the pound, then for me the pound's going to weaken. So then I'll be looking for further pound weakness against a volatile pair. So that's how you kind of got to assess the cross pairs. The cross pairs can let you know where money is being moved, and then you can act accordingly when you're coming back to what I like to call my major pairs. So I hope this video made sense, and it will be explained further when we go into our risk on, risk off episode. So stay tuned for the next episode.